Representing the business of boxing, ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for Manager Marty!
Thank you. You're far too kind. Thank you very much.
Representing the business of boxing, ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for Manager Marty!
Thank you. You're far too kind. Thank you very much.
Representing the business of boxing, ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for Manager Marty!
Thank you. You're far too kind. Thank you very much.
Representing the business of boxing, ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for Manager Marty!
Thank you. You're far too kind. Thank you very much.
Representing the business of boxing, ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for Manager Marty!
Thank you. You're far too kind. Thank you very much.
Representing the business of boxing, ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for Manager Marty!
Thank you. You're far too kind. Thank you very much.
Representing the business of boxing, ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for Manager Marty!
Thank you. You're far too kind. Thank you very much.
Representing the business of boxing, ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for Manager Marty!
Thank you. You're far too kind. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, members of the jury, members of the Roll the Tape film crew, welcome to another episode of Roll the Tape podcast with Manager Marty. I'm your host, Manager Marty. Welcome to each and every last one of you who are here live in living color. You could have been anywhere else, but you chose to be here with me this morning and this evening for some of you in the other parts of the earth. Come on in. Before you grab a seat, grab a plate. I have some food that I want to serve you. Some food for thought. I really need the air fryer to start warming up. Because this live right here, I'm going to make some impactful statements that might ruffle some feathers. But it's all going to be done with the truth in love. Speaking of love, I want to give a double shout out to all of the love that I've been receiving from the members of this channel. Double salute to all of the members of this channel, the supervisors of the Roll the Tape film crew. There's one of them who I've been looking for in particular. I've been praying for this young man, and I'm glad to see that he is back with us this morning. I've been concerned about his absence. And I don't mean to put him on the spot, but I have a lot of respect for this young man. And I'm talking about Band Up. So double salute to my guy, Band Up. Glad to see you this morning, Band Up. Now, enough with the hugs, handshakes, and Valentine's Day cards. I don't even know where to start this show at, honestly, because I don't mean to be controversial. Okay, I do mean to be controversial because there's something that happens in boxing time and time again that needs to be addressed. And that's something that happens in boxing time and time again that needs to be addressed is the hypocrisy from certain individuals. Everybody on YouTube knows. Everybody in the community of boxing knows. And most people in the media, when it comes to boxing, including content creators, know that I'm an anti-doping advocate who've conducted investigative research for the last almost 16 years on the topic. And there were three names that kept coming up in my research that I've been conducting that made me start looking deeper and deeper into their history. And I'm talking about Victor Conti, Alex Ariza, and the man that we're going to talk about today, Angel Memo Heredia. I know exactly where I'm going to start the show off. I'm going to start it off right there. To all my haters, my spies, and my detractors that insult me constantly over and over again in my comment section, in my live chat, and even emails, and some DMs too. I want to let you know, I hear you loud and clear. It has been officially notated by me that I am the most controversial, the most imitated, the most insulted, but the least paid content creator in the YouTube boxing community. And I relish that. I embrace it. Now, let's get back to the hypocrisy. I want to start off talking about hypocrisy when it comes to performance enhancements in boxing. Now, you know, the last time we were together, family, I played an excerpt from an interview from YSM Sports Media platform. They conducted an interview with Breadman, Stephen Edwards. It's no secret. It's no secret he's from the same city as I am, my hometown of the great city of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. We know this already. But y'all know me. I don't hold no picks, and I don't show favoritism. I call it straight down the middle. It don't make a difference. Now, I know some of you were wondering about our Town Watch check-in. I promise you we're going to do that in the next segment. I have to get straight in on this. Now, Breadman Edwards. I'm going to roll the tape back because some of you may not have been here the other day, right? I'm going to roll it back, but also give a refresher and a reminder to those of us who were here. And I want to let him tell you his words that he said on YSM Sports Media. Shout out to YSM Sports Media, who conducted the interview. And it was some things that was said about Ryan Garcia from Breadman. And I'm going to play it again. You know what? I'm doing way too much talking. Don't take my word for it. Before I say roll the tape, let me do something. Because when I talk about performance, when I talk about enhancements, I hope y'all don't mind. I like showing my face. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I like showing my face. I do. I mean, I just like showing my face. Why not? It's one of my favorite topics to talk about in boxing. I like showing my face, me personally. How y'all doing this morning? All right? Y'all good? Okay. Now, let me do this real quick because I gotta make sure I don't forget. Double salute to the sponsors of this channel, Quartler Manis LLC. They are friends of the channels of this channel. They support the channel. I have to plug them in because that's what we do. They are personal injury lawyers in Pennsylvania and in New Jersey. Their contact information is at the bottom of your screen. If you need a personal injury attorney, and I'm not just saying this because they're sponsoring the channel or they're sponsoring this episode, I'm saying this because I have conducted business with them on numerous of occasions for different situations and circumstances within the past basically 10 years. So I would never recommend someone to my family who I don't trust and who I don't put the stamp of approval on. So now that we got the plug out the way, I'm going to go back and play an excerpt of something that Breadman said. This was literally done. When I say done, I mean the interview was recently done, but it was uploaded. It was published. It says 5 hours ago, but that's not 5 hours ago today. That was literally when we went live on Tuesday evening. It was a special edition live too, by the way. Okay? So now we're going to play what Breadman said on YSM Sports Media. Double salute and shout out to YSM Sports Media, who conducted the interview with Stephen Breadman Edwards. He is the trainer of Caleb Plant and the trainer of Julian J. Rock Williams. I'm doing way too much talking. Don't take my word for it. Roll the tape.
Hurting bad. Tank put him out with one punch. Kid knocked him out and on social in the gym and put it all over social media. So Ryan probably should have been able, with his skill set and his punching power, he should have been able to knock Raleigh out. The fact that he couldn't come close to it or really didn't really go for it like that, it is suspicious. I mean, it gotta be, right? The performance has to be suspicious. Put it this way, he didn't do himself any favors by making people believe that his test was like an innocent thing and he can perform without that stuff.
Did y'all hear that? That was Breadman when he was when he was regurgitating his thought process of what he think about Ryan Garcia's performance when Ryan Garcia fought Rolly Romero. Before I make my point on Breadman being a hypocrite, I want to lay a foundation. The prosecutor is here this morning. I want to lay a foundation because every time we see this in boxing, I'm talking about hypocrisy when I say this, we don't get an opportunity to talk about it as a family. So that's what I want to use my platform to do. I keep hearing people talk about suspicious, right? Openly. But when I talk about when certain athletes' performances are suspicious, I'm the bad guy. I get insulted. Y'all remember the word suspicious, don't you? The word suspicious have been thrown around by many people. I mean, you just heard Breadman say it. Somebody else used the word suspicious. Timothy Bradley Hey, Tim! See, when Timothy Bradley used the word suspicious, no one criticized him. Y'all don't know what I'm talking about? See, Bradley forgot who he was talking to when he made comments about me. I'm going to give y'all a recap because some of you may have forgotten the fact that Timothy Bradley, look at your screen. Some of y'all going to get mad at this, and some of y'all may have forgotten. Timothy Bradley was in my comments section. Y'all remember that? It's a couple months ago when I conducted a little bit of research some years and years ago, and then I published a video about it. I published a video a couple months ago. The title of the video is on your screen if you want to go fact check me and go look at the comments section. The name of the title is called Shocking. Terrence Crawford Team Power Revealed for Shakur Stevenson. I was talking about fights that Shakur Stevenson performed in when his performances have been enhanced due to his relationship with Victor Conte and the snack program. And Tim Bradley, I underlined his name on the screen so y'all know I did my homework. Timothy Bradley says about this is what he's talking to me in my comments section because I'm talking about Victor Conte and snack and Shakur Stevenson's performances being enhanced. Timothy Bradley said, "You have no proof. I hope you get sued." Laughing emoji. Now, my thing is this, Tim Bradley. I'm laying the foundation because Tim Bradley used the term suspicious, just like we heard Stephen Edwards use the term suspicious. I'm tying it in. The prosecutor is here. I'm setting the foundation for my case to be laid because y'all are the members of the jury in the court of public opinion. So now let's talk about it. So wait a minute. When I talk about certain fighters with the snack program and their performances being enhanced and their performances under Victor Conte and the snack program being suspicious, Tim Bradley said he hope I get sued. But what about when Tim Bradley used the term suspicious? Y'all don't remember that? I know some of y'all don't. Most of you may not have been boxing fans back then in 2013. And even if you wasn't, it's okay. I'm going to educate you. Don't look at me right now. Look at your screen. Look at your screen. Go on and look at it. You might not realize what that is right now. I'm going to read it to you. But before I read what's on your screen now, I want to go back a slide before that so you know exactly what that is. Go on and look at your screen right now. That's a picture of Memo Heredia, Angel Memo Heredia. That's him right there on your screen. Now, you might not understand what you're looking at. I'm going to share it with you right now. I want us to all be on the same page, shall we? Sean Asayo, who was a reporter for ESPN, he published an article. I circled the date at the top of your screen. November the 18th, 2013, nearly 12 years ago, on Memo Heredia. I circled something else. If you look at the middle of your screen, I'll read it to you because the words are small. And it says, no matter how much Heredia insists he's working clean, he can't escape his PED tainted past. Chip Litherland for ESPN said that, right? Now, Memo Heredia was the strength and conditioning coach in the corner of Juan Manuel Marquez when he fought and knocked out Manny Pacquiao. Y'all remember that? I'm talking about in the final fight between the two rivals. And then, of course, as we know, Juan Mario Marquez kept Memo Heredia in his corner and in his camp and on his team for the Timothy Bradley fight. Y'all remember that? Remember when Timothy Bradley fought Juan Manuel Marquez? Okay, so there was a 24/7, and I've been looking for the audio of this for many years, and I still can't find it. Because I had this article screenshotted for years now. That's why when Tim Bradley was scared to click the link to come up here to talk to me, that's why I was holding it. I was saving this because I wanted to bring this up to him. Not so much of this, more so much about what's on your screen now. Y'all see that on your screen? I'm going to read the highlighted part because I highlighted it. See, I highlighted it to show you I did my homework so I can show you my work. Now, this is the same article now. Don't get confused. I'm going to go back to the previous screen. Slide. You see it? This is the first screen slide here. This is an article, November of 2013, about Memo Heredia. The middle part of that article is on your screen now. Bam, it's the same article. This is what was highlighted, if you can't see your screen. But Bradley has his own game plan for their HBO pay-per-view, referring to Timothy Bradley's fight against Marquez. It involves asking the question raised by many boxing insiders. Why is Heredia a key player in a doping ring that spawned the Balco scandal a decade ago, even in Marquez's corner as his strength coach? And this is a direct quote from Timothy Bradley. And I quote, "I'm not saying he's on anything because I'll be legally sued," Bradley tells reporters, "but it's too DAMN suspicious." The question, why is Memo Heredia, a man who has had experience and being a PED and steroid supplier to many athletes, why is he the strength and conditioning coach for Juan Manuel Marquez, who is about to be my opponent? He's suspicious. Memo suspect. Look at his past. Look at his history. But when I was talking about Victor Conti and his past and his history and him having experience with supplying PEDs and steroids to athletes, including boxers, Tim Bradley said, go on and look at your screen. You have no proof. I hope you get sued. Well, speaking of getting sued, Mr. Bradley, do you remember, go and look at your screen now, do you remember a month before that article came out that we just saw in November of 2023, a month before that, in October 2013, I circled it. You see it? I circled it just to make sure that we're all clear now. I did my homework. I've been had this information, y'all. I was waiting to see Tim Bradley so I can bring it up to him face to face. Marquez strength and conditioning coach Angel Heredia threatened legal action against Timothy Bradley. So Tim Bradley, what about when Marquez sent his attorney to hand deliver the documents that was filed on Angel Memo Heredia's behalf to sue you for defamation based on the comments that you made on 24/7 on HBO, the 24/7 broadcast that leads up to the promotion of the fight. Some of y'all remember 24/7, right? You thought I forgot about that? See, you didn't know I knew about that, Timothy Bradley, did you? You didn't know I knew about all of this. Now, what was actually said, I want us to be clear on it so we all can be on the same page. I'm going somewhere with this. We're going to get back to Breadman. I'm setting the foundation before I get to Breadman for a reason. Okay? I hope y'all don't mind, do you? Because people keep using the word suspicious, 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 suspicious. When they talk about other fighters, like Ryan Garcia, like Juan Manuel Marquez, like David Benavidez, because they're hanging around people who have a history of supplying and administering PEDs. That's all I'm saying. So what I'm trying to figure out is, how can y'all be even speaking on it so comfortably? But then when I speak on some people being suspicious because they rolling with Victor Conti, I'm the bad guy. Right? I'm the bad guy when I speak on it. Right or wrong? Now, the quote that was actually stated was this. This was what Timothy Bradley said. Marquez hired a cheater. And he also said, bring the needle. I'm trying to put that on the screen, but it's giving me a hard way to go right now. Okay? Here we go. I got it. Here it is. I found it. It's giving me a hard way to go. Let's see if we can get it on the screen. I want y'all to see this. Yeah, I found it. Here it is. Bam. So Timothy Bradley made some statements on 24/7 in the build up and lead up to his fight with Juan Manuel Marquez. It's still uploaded. I don't know why it's giving me trouble, ladies and gentlemen. See, my thing is, here it is. Bam, go and look at your screen. Woo! Hey, Tim! They forgot about this, y'all. See, Tim Bradley was talking about Memo Heredia when he said Marquez hired a cheater, even though Memo Heredia have gone literally a decade, 10 years, with saying that he's a clean strength and conditioning coach now for 10 years. But that didn't stop Timothy Bradley from saying that Marquez hired a cheater. But when I say that Devin Haney hired Victor Conti, when I say Terrence Crawford hired Victor Conti, when I say Clarissa Shields hired Victor Conti, when I say Caleb Plant hired Victor Conti, when I say Bam Bam Rodriguez hired Victor Conti, when I say Julian J. Rock Williams and Stephen Brand Edwards, they hired Victor Conti. When I speak on that, I'm the bad guy. And Timothy Bradley say, go on and look at your screen again. You have no proof. I hope you get sued. But what about when you had no proof, Tim? But that didn't stop you from saying right here, go and look at your screen again, y'all. But that is too suspicious for Juan Manuel Marquez to work with Memo Heredia. And let me not forget, and I have to show my face to say this last part. Timothy Bradley said, and I have the tape. You know I will play it, but for time constraints, I won't play it right now. Timothy Bradley said he actually went over to be a part of Snack, and he gave Victor Conti his blood. Remember that? To test his blood? Y'all don't remember that? I have the tape queued up. I will play it if you challenge me. Remember that? You hope I get sued, Timothy Bradley? Why? Because I'm saying all the Snack fighters, their performances are being enhanced, and it's suspicious for them to hang with Victor Conti? Oh, but when you was about to fight Marquez, and his strength and conditioning coach had a shady past and had dealings with Victor Conti and distributing steroids and PEDs, and Memo Heredia has also been convicted for doing so as well. You were suspicious, Tim. So it was cool when you were suspicious of Memo, but when it comes to Victor Conti, you're not suspicious. And that's the point that I want to lay. That's the point that I want to illustrate. That's the point that I want to make when we talk about Stephen Breadman Edwards. Why am I driving the point home about Timothy Bradley? Because there's hypocrisy going on. We know that Stephen Breadman Edwards called Victor Conti, don't we? To work with J-Rock, Julian Williams, don't we? Oh, okay. But Ryan Garcia is suspicious in his eyes. I'm not going to play the tape again. You heard it. I mean, I will play it again. But the tape that I want to play now, since you heard what Breadman said on YSM Sports Media, I want to play the tape when he was actually up here talking to me. See, some of y'all wasn't here in the beginning. And some of you were. And I'm glad that you all are here now. Go on and look at your screen. I circled it for you. Go on. I circled it. The date I'm talking about. Yeah. When I had Breadman up here talking to him directly. February of 2023. Some of y'all remember that? When Caleb Plant was about to fight who? David Benavidez. And Victor Conti tweeted that boxing should get woke because David Benavidez has who in his corner as his strength and conditioning coach? You guessed it, Memo Heredia. You see how all this tie in now? Let's hear what Breadman told me directly when I asked him about that tweet that Victor Conti posted on X, formerly known as Twitter, and Breadman actually reposted the tweet that I just said. Let's hear what he had to say. You know what? I'm doing way too much talking. Don't take my word for it. Roll the tape. You did something, I think it was yesterday. But Victor Conti, I'm sure you know exactly who he is. But he actually tweeted something out, and then you retweeted it on your Twitter account. And I wanted to read it and then get a piece of your perspective on it. And I wanted to read it right now. And it says, this is from Victor Conti, and you retweeted this. Time for boxing to get woke. Even though most stringent body testing can be circumvented by smart cheaters. Be aware, Memo Heredia is in camp with Benavidez versus Caleb Plant or Sweet Hands Plant on March 25th. Substances like IGF-1, LR3 are powerful and undetectable. That's what Victor Conti said on Twitter. You retweeted. There's a reason why you retweeted. What's your perspective on that, Coach?
Well, he hired Memo Heredia. And
you mean David Benavidez?
Yeah. And when I saw it, I just retweeted it just to bring awareness to violence. I don't know what those substances are, but when I saw it, I just brought awareness to it. Like, they did hire him, and I mean, I'm not gonna say nothing bad about the guy. I'm not trying to get into no lawsuits or nobody like that. Yeah. But he do got a questionable reputation.
Whoa. Let me turn my camera on. I got to turn my camera back on. What did he say? Breadman just said when his fighter, Caleb Plant, was about to fight David Benavidez, who had Memo Heredia in his camp, he said that Memo Heredia has a questionable past. What a difference 2 years make. That was in February of 2023 when I was talking to Breadman myself personally. And I asked him about why was he retweeting and reposting Victor Conti's tweet. about smart cheaters knowing how to circumvent VADA testing, the most stringent VADA testing. I quote, be aware. Memo Heredia is in the camp of David Benavidez. Those were the words of Victor Conte. But Breadman retweeted it. He reposted it, and I wanted to get his take on why. And lo and behold, 2 years down the line, he conducts an interview, and he's talking about how suspicious Ryan Garcia's performance was against Devin Haney compared to Rolly Ramirez. My God. Rolly Romero, excuse me. So when these guys, Timothy Bradley and Breadman, use the term suspicious, when they both have associations with Victor Conte, nobody speaks on that. They use the word suspicious against Memo Heredia, both of them, Tim Bradley and Breadman. But they both rolling with Victor Conte, who also have a questionable past. Breadman, what's up with the hypocrisy? That's all I'm asking. It's just a question. Don't get mad at me. I'm just asking a question. Why are they being hypocrites? Why? See, all of the evidence that I presented just now, they're irrefutable. No one can come back and throw a shot at me and say that I'm doing something wrong. I just have a question. See, in 2013, it was cool when Tim Bradley said that Marquez was suspicious because he's rolling with his words, not mine. Let me put it back on the screen. Marquez hired a cheater. There's a quote from Bradley right there on 24/7. But you gave Victor Conte your blood, Timothy Bradley. So in 2013, Marquez was suspicious, right? Because he hired Memo Heredia. But you gave Victor Conte your blood and wanted to be a part of the snack program, Timothy Bradley. Your words, not mine. You said that you hope I get sued because I'm talking about the performance enhancements of the snack fighters, including Shakur Stevenson, Terrence Crawford, Caleb Plant, and the rest of them. You hope I get sued, Timothy Bradley. You hope I get sued. What about in 2013 when Memo Heredia was about to file a lawsuit against you? In 2013, man. And it goes into the point that I'm making about what Breadman said the other day, earlier this week. It's suspicious when he was talking about Ryan Garcia. But when Breadman was here 2 years ago, February of 2023, talking to me directly, he retweeted that, of which Victor Conte said, criticizing Memo Heredia being in the camp of their opponent, David Benavidez, because they're working with who? Memo Heredia. Oh. But when I bring up the fact that Breadman called Victor Conte to be a part of the snack program with Julian J. Rock Williams, and Breadman is training Caleb Plant, who is also rolling with Victor Conte in the snack program, just like Julian J. Rock Williams, I'm the bad guy? I mean, look at your screen now. Don't forget that Victor Conte in April of 2025, last month, tweeted this. Shout out to elite snack boxing trainers. And then he mentioned the trainers that's a part of Snack and his program and their fighters. And he mentioned the trainer, Stephen Edwards. I circled it and highlighted it to let you know I did my homework. I didn't just go home from school and watch cartoons. I did my homework. But I'm the bad guy? Oh, so they can be suspicious of Memo Heredia, a guy who Victor Conte doesn't like, by the way. So Breadman and Tim Bradley, they can throw shots and be suspicious of the fighters that work with Memo Heredia. When I speak on the fighters that work with Victor Conti in the snack program. And I'm suspicious. I'm the bad guy. I basically said all of that to say, y'all, we need answers. I said all of them words, compacted the 3 words. We need answers. That was it. Cash App at the bottom of your screen, $ Manager Marty. Double salute to my guy, Jay Mills. Thank you for your contribution and your support to the channel. Jay Mills says in the super chat, salute to all truth sayers. Here's just a little support for one of the best to do it, man. Oh, let me read that over. I messed up. Sorry. Salute to all truth sayers. Here's just a little support for one of the best to do it, Manager Marty. Oh, man, Jay Mills, I appreciate that, bro. I appreciate that, man. Thank you. Gotta show my face to give a thank you, man. Hey, Jay Mills, double salute to you again. I appreciate you. I'm not here to criticize other content creators and try to use the barometer of what they can't do and what they're not doing on their platform. Just know here on this platform, we weed them out. See, we dig beneath the surface to go find the truth. And most of what I have, the evidence I have, has been locked in the vault for almost 16 years. This is no new information to me. I just wanted to bring that up because I thought about that when I heard Breadman's interview. I thought about that. Why are these people being a hypocrite? They all rolling with Victor Conti. And 2 of Breadman fighters are with the snack program. I mean, we haven't seen J-Rock, Julian Williams in a few months. And of course, he had different, hiatuses that he had. He's a good fighter, former world champion. Caleb Plant, good fighter, former world champion. But I'm just trying to figure out, Breadman, what did you call him for? See, that's the question I be wanting to ask all these guys. What did you call Victor Conti for? You're an elite trainer. At least that's what Victor Conti said. So what did you call him for? Why did you bring J-Rock Julian Williams over there? He was already good. What did you call Victor for? See, you can't criticize Memo Heredia in 2023 when you was talking to me personally, and then come back 2 years later and want to criticize Ryan Garcia when the whole time for the last 5 years, at least, really longer than that, but I'm just going to say 5 because it makes it sound more credible. You've been rolling with Victor Conti and the fighters you train, bro. Since we're talking about the word suspicious, and this is not a knock on J-Rock. I like J-Rock as a person. I met him on numerous occasions. He's a good guy. But I'm just trying to figure out is, how come his performance was suspicious and it looked enhanced when he fought Jared Hurd to take all of Jared Hurd's titles off of him? Them belts that he took off of Jared Hurd in Jared Hurd's backyard. When he knocked Jared Hurd down in the 2nd round. The same round that all snack fighters seem to get this resurgence of punching power. Remember I told y'all, 1st round, 2nd round, 3rd round, 6th round, 9th round, and 10th round. See how fluidly I can speak on this? And not only did he knock Jared Hurd down, who was the bigger fighter in that fight, he dominated Jared Hurd. I mean, it was a classic masterpiece in that fight. What about Caleb Plant? When he knocked out Anthony Durrell with 1 punch, he knocked Anthony Durrell out cold, unconsciously. Something we've never seen Caleb Plant do. Breadman, you was in his corner. You was training him. That performance was suspicious and it looked enhanced. And I was at that fight live in Brooklyn, New York at the Barclays Center. And I was sitting right next to one of my closest homies, man. I was sitting right next to him. When the left hook landed from Caleb Plant, it landed on Durrell's body first, and then it landed on his chin. And as soon as he was going down, I stood up. I looked at my homie Top Rate and I told him, I said, Top Rate, I said, Caleb Plant his performance was enhanced. And Top Rate told me, I don't know, man. I don't think so, man. I said, I'm telling you, you know how long I've been around this? He's suspicious. That knockout was suspicious. And I came out and told y'all the same thing. See, everybody want to throw that word suspicious around, but then when I say the word suspicious, I'm the bad guy. I get it. Well, guess what? Let me be the bad guy then. Double salute to my guy, JSir72. He's a member of the channel, supervisor of the Roller Tape Film Crew. Thank you, JSir72, man, for your contribution and your support to the channel. JSir72 says, snackers, come on up and talk about it. We need answers. I mean, that's really all I want out of this whole thing. I want someone, thank you, JSir72. I want someone from the snack program to come on up and talk to me. As you see under my name on your screen, it says anti-doping advocate. I'm an advocate. Come talk to me. That's the questions I want to That's the questions I want to ask. That's all. They don't want to come talk to me. Why not? I don't know. I mean, Timothy Bradley jumping on everybody else's platform. But when I invited him here on numerous occasions to come talk to me and click the link, he didn't. In fact, what he did do is he went on a video and he basically commented instead of clicking the link and coming up to talk to me directly. And he says, I have no proof. I hope you get sued. Put it back on your screen for the people that came to class late real quick. There it is. Bam. You have no proof. I hope you get sued. I don't know why you hope I get sued. I never defamed anyone's character. I'm just saying. I never committed slander. Why? Because I'm saying suspicious? See, Timothy Bradley said Marquez hired a cheater, even though Memo Heredia haven't been caught cheating for 10 years when he said it. You see my point? Oh, but when it comes to Victor Conti, everybody want to protect him. And I know she has nothing to do with this, but she's a part of the people that came over here trying to protect him. Rachel Donaire, when she tried to protect Victor Conti. Y'all remember that? Why everybody keep trying to protect Victor from me? I'm nobody. I'm just a manager at Walmart. I'm nobody. I'm just a manager at Target. Right, Bill Haney? Why everybody trying to play keep away when it comes to me and these snack fighters? I don't know why. I don't get it. Maybe I do get it. The bottom line is this. People need to stop being hypocrites. Ryan Garcia, he served his time, right? So why people keep on bringing it back up? Something that happened a year ago, right? But when I bring up Victor Conti in the snack program and all of his fighters look up suspicious and their performances are being enhanced, I'm the bad guy. Hey, don't get mad at me. That's why I don't bring up the Ryan Garcia. Because I have a different perspective on what happened with Ryan Garcia. And him popping dirty for trace amounts of ostomy. Me personally. I mean, I haven't seen any of the snack fighters' test results. Have you? None of them. Have you seen any of their test results? I'm not talking about the paper that Victor Conti posts on his Twitter account, or X, formerly known as Twitter, that have the VADA letterhead on top of it. I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about from the actual lab. You know how when Clarissa Shields, when she posted her test results for marijuana, the test results claimed that it was negative, right? When she went to Quest Diagnostics, she actually posted the actual test results from the lab. What about from the sports medicine lab, the Smarto lab? I haven't seen any of the test results yet from none of the snack fighters. I'm not talking about the paper from VADA. That I can type up something with VADA's letterhead and say, oh, Devin Haney, you clean, you negative. And I'm not saying that is what's happening. Please don't misinterpret what I am saying. I am not saying, because Tim Bradley already hope I get sued. Floyd Schofield Sr. already threatened that he was going to sue me. I don't need a lawsuit. I'm just saying I haven't seen any of the actual test results directly administered by the lab. when we talk about performance enhancement drugs. I haven't seen it from snack fighters. I mean, yeah, I haven't seen it. Okay, then. So what's good for the goose is good for the gander. If Timothy Bradley in 2013 can be suspicious of Marquez because he's working with Memo Heredia, and in 2023, if Breadman can be suspicious of David Benavidez, who was working with Memo Heredia against Caleb Plant, then I can be suspicious when them or their fighters work with Victor Conti. That's all I'm saying. Double salute to my guy. He's a day one supporter. Haven't seen him in a while. My guy, Carl Brown, a.k.a. C Breezy. Thank you for your contribution and your support. Carl Brown says these words in the super chat. We need answers. I'm trying to get them too. Just know, real is real, fake is fake. Nothing in between. Straight like that. Manager Marty, let's go, bro. You know I'm here, Carl. And he's right. Straight like that. Real is fake is fake. It's very simple. We don't have to complicate things like this. Stop being a hypocrite, y'all. And it's easy to throw shots at Ryan Garcia. If you want to throw shots at Ryan Garcia, fine. I'm not here advocating for Ryan Garcia. I'm proving a point on the flip side of that same coin. Stop being a hypocrite. Y'all working with Victor Conti? You're a part of the snack program as a trainer or a fighter? Don't be a hypocrite. That's all I'm saying. And speaking of hypocrisy, let's talk about Brian Norman Jr. and Brian Norman Sr. I'm just trying to figure out, Brian Norman Sr. is jumping on platform after platform, disrespecting Eddie Hearn, undermining the business acumen of Eddie Hearn, undermining the skill set and talents of Jerron Boots Ennis. I'm just trying to figure out, if Brian Norman Jr. can knock out Boots, this is what his dad, Brian Norman Sr., been saying. He said within 4 rounds. I think that's what he said. But in any regard, this should be easy. This should be an easy $1.75 million. I said those words in the in the fall of last year, between September and October. Y'all remember that? Just months ago. And guess what happened? Brian Norman Jr., he fought someone else. You remember that? Now, fast forward to now. After the management team fumbled the bag, I did a complete live on that topic. You can all go back and fact check me and go reference it if you want to go watch it. I did an entire live breaking down the interview that Brian Norman Jr.'s managers did live. And I broke down that interview like an old rifle to expose them. With that being said, fast forward to now. You mean to tell me, this is just questions I have, so don't get mad at me. You mean to tell me, right, that Brian Norman Jr. and Sr. for this matter can literally jump on an airplane? Seriously, I'm just asking. I'm just asking, y'all. You mean to tell me that Brian Norman Sr. and Brian Norman Jr. can jump on an airplane, right, to fly to Japan, right, from Atlanta, Georgia, rather than getting on that same plane to fly to Philadelphia to fight Boots? A guy who they say they can knock out easily? No, I'm just asking the question. That's all. You mean to tell me that Brian Norman Sr. and Brian Norman Jr. can get on an airplane? I'm just asking. I'm just asking. Can get on an airplane from Atlanta, Georgia to Tokyo, Japan, which takes 14 hours, instead of getting on an airplane from Atlanta, Georgia to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, which takes literally 2 hours. Where Brian Norman Jr. is going to make way more money fighting boots here in America than he is going to make fighting Jin Sasaki next month in Japan. So let me get this straight. Don't let me pull the audio up because I have it queued up. Last fall, between September and October of 2024, Brian Norman Sr., I have the tape. He stated in an interview that he don't think that it's fair for his son, a world champion, to fight Jaron Boots Ennis in Jaron Boots Ennis's backyard in Philly. Y'all remember that? But you're willing to get on a plane and go 14 hours in the air to fly to another country in Japan, in Jin Sasaki's hometown, in his backyard. That doesn't make any sense to me. And the cap of it all is, this is where the cap come in at, that Brian Norman Sr., being a hypocrite, saying that they were waiting for Boots to say their name after he fought last month in Philly, by the way. You know I was at that fight ringside. But the fight was already signed between Brian Norman Jr. and Jin Sasaki at the time Brian Norman Sr. made that statement a few weeks ago. A couple of weeks ago, he made that statement. Oh, we was waiting for Boots to call us out after he fought. Why he didn't call us out? Bruh, you had a fight lined up with Jin Sasaki. How do we know that's true? Because now, as recently as last week, Brian Norman Sr. is doing his media tour, and he's jumping on platform after platform, YouTube channel after YouTube channel. And you know what he's saying? Well, we told Eddie Hearn we don't want to make no commitments. We got a fight coming up. We got to focus on the fight. Well, what about when the first time y'all was talking about negotiating with Boots and them, you weren't talking about focusing on that fight either that you had coming? I mean, which one is it, man? I just try to figure out what's up with the hypocrisy. It's either y'all going to fight or you're not. First, it was because the money wasn't there. Then Eddie Hearn come back second time, offer more money. That wasn't enough. Then Eddie Hearn come back a third time and add an additional $525,000 on top of the offer, which equaled a grand total of $1.75 million. And that wasn't enough. You mean to tell me, and I wish any of you would challenge the business of boxing on this. You mean to tell me that Brian Norman Jr. is going to make a minimum of $1.75 million to go out to Japan and fight Jin Sasaki? Absolutely not. I told y'all in contracts, standard in boxing business, there's minimum guarantees and then there's maximum guarantees. Did I tell y'all that? When it comes to professional boxers who are exclusively signed to promoters. Didn't I tell you all that? So how he go from making 100 and something How he go from making $99,000 close to $100,000, right? This is facts now. At the time that they were negotiating to fight Boots the first time, his last fight, he made $99,000. I have the paperwork. I can prove it to you. And I've already proved it to most of you at the live I did, right? But my point is, if that's the standard of your boxing contract, why are you complaining about making 10 times more against a guy who you can easily just knock out? It's very simple. It's simple. Who you think have a better chance? And I said this to my guy, my main man, Pots and Pan. I didn't see him in the chat. I don't know if he's here. My man, Lucky. Oh, Lucky is here. Okay, I see him now. Right? I said it's the Lucky, right? If Ryan Garcia go to Japan, like he was about to fight in another country in an exhibition, okay. If Ryan Garcia go to Japan, right? Would you believe that Ryan Garcia have a better chance of making $1 million in Japan? Don't matter who he fight. Don't worry about the opponent. I'm just asking about Ryan Garcia specifically. Ryan Garcia, do you think that Ryan Garcia has a great chance of making $1 million competing in Japan? That's for the live chat. It's just yes or no. Real quick. Double salute to my guy, Fort Greene Pharaoh. He's a member of the channel, supervisor of the Roll to Tape film crew. Thank you for your contribution and your support, Fort Greene. Fort Greene says this in the super chat. Catching my guy on the move. Salute, Manager Marty. Man, we appreciate you, whether you on the move, whether you sitting still, whether you chilling. Fort Greene Pharaoh is one of the wisest men I know when it comes to boxing. Thank you, Fort Greene. Appreciate you, big dog. And then Carl Brown spent the block, as we say in Philly. He bust the U-E. He bust the U-turn, came back. Or as Terrence Crawford would say, spend the block. Carl Brown spend the block with a second super chat. Double salute to you, C. Breezy again. C. Breezy says, remember, I've been said you're going to crack this case. You better believe it. I cracked this case wide open. Some people love when I say that. But I'm just trying to figure out, it's just yes or no. It's just yes or no. Do you all think that Ryan Garcia has a chance to make and earn $1 million if he fought in Japan? It's just yes or no. I mean, I do. I mean, the reason why I'm saying I do is because Ryan Garcia, right, no matter where he fights at, he does three things. And I have to bring this up. As a superstar, he bring the stars out, he bring the cars out, and he bring the bras out. That's what he does. He has a great chance of earning $1 million in another country competing because of those three reasons. I mean, think about it. How much was Ryan Garcia sued for again? I'm talking about after the Devin Haney fight. He was sued $1 million. So he was sued $1 million. Why? Because that was his purse. Right? I told y'all minimum and maximum, right? I told y'all whether there's a title involved or not, right? I told y'all whether it's televised or not, right? I told y'all whether it's streamed or not, right? This affects and impacts the fighter's compensation when it comes to the language in their contract. You ain't gonna find this information nowhere else. That's why I'm glad y'all here. I taught y'all that, right? You mean to tell me Brian Norman Jr., who don't bring the stars out, who don't bring the cars out, and who don't bring the bras out, you mean to tell me his contract states he make more than Ryan Garcia? Ryan Garcia make a guaranteed $1 million no matter who he fight under Golden Boy Promotions. You mean to tell me that Brian Norman Jr. gonna go to Japan and make more than Ryan Garcia? And he don't even have a huge following here in his own country? Ryan Garcia has a huge following in this country. And probably even in his own. Can you imagine him going to, let's say, Japan or another country? He can bring his country and America together. Not saying America is not his country. I'm saying he has a fan base from his heritage, his culture, Mexican descent. That's what I'm saying. Brian Norman Jr. didn't even headline a card in his own backyard in Atlanta, Georgia. What are we talking about here? See, this is not me taking up for Boots or being biased or saying you're a friend of Boots or, you're a friend of Mr. Posey, his dad, or, Coach L, or you from Philly. So no, we're talking just logic, basic common sense when we talk about the business of boxing. I told y'all last week, and I'm going to tell you all again, Brian Norman Sr. wants to fight Boots. Brian Norman Sr., he wants to fight Jaron Ennis. Brian Norman Sr. wants to fight Boots Ennis. He does not want his son, Brian Norman Jr., to fight Boots Ennis. He wants to fight Boots Ennis through his son. I'm going to say it again so we can be on the same page. Brian Norman Sr. wants to fight Boots Ennis. Brian Norman Sr. does not want his son, Brian Norman Jr., to fight Boots Ennis. However, Brian Norman Sr. wants to fight Boots Ennis through his son, Brian Norman Jr. It's very simply clear to me. You mean to tell me Eddie Hearn is the one initiating Boots fighting Brian Norman Jr. again for a fourth time? Whoa, wait a minute. I thought that Brian Norman Jr. was the A side based on how much his dad doing all this talking. In other words, is what I'm saying is all of these demands that the Normans have, that their representation have, all these big time demands they have, including money. But y'all not the ones initiating the negotiations. That makes no sense to me. You mean to tell me that Eddie Hearn is initiating the negotiations again after y'all turned his offer down 3 different times months ago? It seems like Eddie Hearn and Boots really want the fight to happen. Because Brian Norman and their representation, they're never negotiating with Eddie Hearn after they initiated. Why is that? Against a guy you can easily knock out and make it close to $2 million? That doesn't make sense to me. Why would Top Rank and Bob Arum pay Jen Sasaki all that money to fly all the way to America from Tokyo? The man is from Japan. You mean to tell me Jen was on an airplane for over 14 hours? Or he was flying in the air for 14 hours, whether it was multiple airplanes or not. Bottom line is he was flying. He traveled to America from Japan for over 14 hours. Of course, Top Rank and Bob Arum paid for the flight and the meal and the hotel stay, lodging. You mean to tell me that this promoter, Top Rank, invested all of that money for hotel stay, meals, and airfare for Jen Sasaki to come all the way over to America just to confront Brian Norman Jr. in his last fight, only for that fight to never be negotiated for? Y'all got to make this make sense to me, please. See, once again, this has nothing to do with whether I'm cool with Boots and Mr. Posey and whether they're from my city or not, or whether or not I'm biased. I'm just giving out the facts right now. I mean, look at the history of boxing, right? Errol Spence jumped in the ring after Sean Porter fought Andy Garcia. They fought, didn't they? Okay. Keith Thurman jumped in the ring after Danny Garcia fought Samuel Vargas in Philly, and I was at that fight ringside. They fought, didn't they? Danny Garcia jumps in the ring. I mean, the list, I can go, listen, y'all, I can go on and on and on. On and on and on. Manny Pacquiao jumped in the ring after Errol Spence fought Mikey Garcia, and they were scheduled to fight each other. But of course, the torn retina, Errol Spence had to get surgery. The point I'm making is the history of boxing has proven time and time again. Remember Tyson Fury jumped in the ring after the Deontay Wilder fight? Y'all remember that? They fought, didn't they? All right. I mean, it's unfortunate that Shakur Stevenson jumped in the ring after Devin Haney fought Loma, and Devin Haney ran out the ring and didn't say a word. There's an exception to the rule, of course. But my point in saying this is, you mean to tell me Jen Sasaki came all the way to America not knowing he was going to fight Brian Norman Jr. next? Come on, y'all, stop. It's either you're going to fight Boots or you're not. There's no point of going on different platforms making it appear as if Eddie Hearn and them is doing something wrong. They are the ones initiating the negotiation. Not once, not twice, not 3 times, but now 4 times. Brian Norman Sr. and Brian Norman Jr. have to come to grips with asking themselves, is this a fight that they really genuinely want? Double salute to my guy, Free Smoke. Thank you for your contribution and your support to the channel, man. Free Smoke says in the super chat, salute, Manager Marty. Can you research Shakur's awesome? I don't know if that's saying awesome. Salute, Manager Marty. Can you research Shakur's awesome hand therapy? Apparently, it's banned by the New York State Athletic Commission. We need answers. Of course, Free Smoke, I will conduct research. You know, I got people all across the world in boxing. I can just pick up the phone and call. I don't need interviews. When I feel like an interview is appropriate for what we're talking about here, I'll reach out and see if we can get them. Some people need that on their platform, and I'm okay with that. But I'm going to make some phone calls for you, Free Smoke, and I will get back to the audience on that. I do have a perspective on that, too, since you brought it up. I'm trying to figure out, why does Shakur Stevenson keep needing all his hand therapy and these surgeries on his hand? I mean, I'm not here to criticize his training camp or his grandfather, but maybe he needs somebody who's more of a specialist when it comes to hand wraps, because that's a lot of times happen too. A lot of times, and yeah, fighters, you know, that break their hand one time, unfortunately, their hands become brittle. But at the same time, you gotta make sure your hands is wrapped properly. For real. I know one, I know two, but let me back up. I know 2 great hand wrap specialists. One of them I know of, Stitch Duran, and another one I know personally, a friend of mine. And I had him on this platform, this podcast, nearly 2 years ago. I'm gonna bring him back on too, real soon. Danny Davis. He wrapped a lot of hands in this business and worked as a cut man in the corner for Bernard Hopkins and other fighters. You gotta be able to know what you're doing when you wrapping people's hands. These fighters' hands get messed up all the time. You might not hear about it, but they do. If their hands are not, I'm talking about tightly secure. I'm not an expert. I'll bring the experts up here to speak on that. But the bottom line is this. Is either Brian Norman going to fight Boots or he's not. The B-side can't make so many unrealistic demands, because then you're not really showing that you're willing to fight. Because one of the points of contention was, oh man, we don't have to fight in Boots. We don't want to go to Philly to fight in his backyard. Well, where you going to go? To Atlanta, Georgia? Y'all never fought in Atlanta, Georgia on the headline of a major card, so y'all don't have no following in your own hometown. Where else you going to go to fight Boots? Philly is a great spot for it. But Brian Norman Jr. and Senior said, more so Senior, they don't want to fight in his hometown. But y'all gonna go fight Jen Sasaki though in a whole nother country. Come on, man. And it's not a guarantee that he's gonna win. I mean, I want Brian Norman Jr. to win. Like I've been rooting for Brian Norman Jr. to win his fights. Not against Boots, for all the other fights. But there's no guarantee they're going to beat Jen Sasaki in his hometown. And we just talked about hand wrapping, didn't we? And we know how they wrap hands in Japan. And it's allowed. See how they keep all them guys from Japan keep having this explosive power. They had this explosive power. Look at the gloves they wear, them Winnipegs. I'm going to leave that alone. I'm going to leave that part I'm going to leave it alone. All I'm saying is Jen Sasaki, 19 wins, 17 losses. It's no guarantee because we saw Brian Norman Jr. get knocked down. A lot of people forgot about. Y'all forgot about that? Not more than, what, a year and a half ago. He got knocked down in the fight. And we also, in his last fight, saw that once he got caught with a quick shot, his legs buckled. So we don't know if Jen Sasaki is going to hurt him or not. I think he's more skillful than Jen Sasaki, so I expect him to come out with the win, but it's boxing. There are no guarantees. Anything can happen. But we wish that Boots fight Brian Norman Jr. at least at the end of this year, sometime in the fall, maybe when it's cold, maybe in November, maybe in December, but in 2025, that definitely is going to be a fight to watch. You know what? I'm doing way too much talking. Don't take